Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope y'all are doing well and enjoying your day so far, with leaks flying all over the shop and roster rumours coming out in force over these last 24 hours or so. Some pros are not very happy at all about the league culture within Call of Duty Esports, but are they in part some of the culprits behind the entire situation? Very much intrigued to get thoughts on all this in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. When you come to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. Of course, if you guys missed it earlier today, this is one of the big rumoured rosters: Octane, Envoy, Drazah and Kenny on Los Angeles Thieves. Not really a massive surprise at the end of the day. Octane's kind of been teasing the fact that he's going to Los Angeles Thieves for quite a while now. He loves to throw the 100 Thieves, like the t-shirt or whatever, in the videos, and yeah, he talks a lot with Kenny and all this type of stuff. It's not really a massive surprise. He's heading back to Los Angeles Thieves. But well, still, a lot of these rumours came out yesterday, and some of the pros kind of confirming this may well be the case by their reaction to the entire situation. So these are the rosters. If you guys have missed earlier today's video, Dallas have got Scump, Dashy, Shotzzy and ILLey. Skies Awakening, Havoc and Use potentially on Florida, although that might not be set. Afro, Zero, Nasty, Gizmo on London. Slasher, Huke, Gunless. Los Angeles Thieves, that Octane, Kenny, Drazah and Envoy team we looked at. Seattle is Accuracy, Maxim and Pred. And New York Southern is also a very interesting one. Claystack, Crimsix, Hydra and Neptune. So that's kind of how things are looking right now. That means Atlanta, Toronto and Minnesota Rokkr are going to stay the same. Just to give you the very brief rundown if you guys missed what was going on earlier today. Now, of course, we don't have any announcements yet on OpTic Dallas, what that might look like in terms of the merger. We also don't have any announcements yet on what the Chicago spot might look like, but a couple of you guys are pointing this out to me because, well, Hex does another thing with Predator, right? And you guys might well know, we talked about it yesterday morning, I'm pretty sure as well, that aBeZy have like an arrangement with Envoy, like a partnership for quite a long time now. So the fact that maybe Hex is coming under this partnership indicates that this is only just around the corner. Of course, what that does mean is that the Chicago spot, if OpTic and Dallas were to merge into this OpTic Dallas, whatever they're going to call it, that does mean the Chicago spot is up for grabs. This I thought was particularly interesting from TSM. This is a name I heard interested in Call of Duty a very long time ago. Now, of course, look, they were in COD like back in the Black Ops 3 days and stuff, but I'm pretty sure like coming into franchising, they were at least considering entry, but decided against it or thought they'd wait a year or something, and who knows what the pandemic has meant for some of these organizations trying to come through. But this from TSM, introducing our first ever competitive COD mobile squad. I mean, look, first of all, this game's kind of beautiful. They're playing like, I think this is called Takeoff right here, but initially it was Stadium, right, from Black Ops 1. This is Firing Range, of course. We got some Crash going on right here. This game is kind of funny because in one way it looks awful. Like the graphics obviously are terrible because it's played on mobile. At the same time though, all the weapons are so good and so much fun. And like you're playing on the classic COD maps. Like this is Standoff. So I don't know. It's an interesting one, but it's kind of strange really that a massive organization like TSM would hop in and this is like what, Crossfire or whatever, and like they would hop in and actually get a COD mobile team before they actually come into the CDL. So tough to say like whether they are considering entry to the actual Call of Duty League or not, but I guess this can't be a bad thing really, unless they were thinking, okay, let's make a COD investment, but not in the actual league, but let's just do it in COD Mobile instead. But maybe it's indicative of some sort of a CDL entry down the line, or even this year, because right now there are a couple of spots up for grabs, we imagine. This from the Ghost of Hope, who's done a fair few leaks over on the Call of Duty Vanguard side. He says the following: hearing from someone in the know about the CDL that Cloud9 will be out of Las Vegas for the CDL 2022 season. Couldn't corroborate this sadly, but we will see soon if it pans out. So Cloud9's entry wouldn't be a surprise, but it might be somewhat of a surprise if that Chicago spot or even the Paris spot was just a move to Las Vegas and Cloud9 kind of take that spot instead, because there's been talk to me, and Hex even said quite recently he wanted the Las Vegas spot for OpTic, but he couldn't get it. Like the league just said no, we've got other plans for that. Now whether that means they kind of promised it to a big org like a Cloud9 and said, yeah, if you do decide to buy in, like we'll have that spot saved for you or whatever, maybe that's the case, but still, like things really hinting towards that Cloud9 could be entering this league. And if they do enter the league, they're not just going to sit back and relax and have a bad team, right? They're going to try and win, which just adds another contender into the mix, we would indeed imagine. Crone's kind of like, okay, thinking about this, not at all, he's not saying he's capping it, but I'm not sure who the spot is going to as of yet. So interesting stuff to keep your eyes on, no doubt. TSM, Cloud9, all sorts of names thrown in the discussion, and certainly an exciting thing to keep your eyes on going forward and what those rosters might indeed potentially look like. Let's talk about this then, right? Thanks to all of you who pointed out these tweets to me, like so many screenshots come my way. Really do appreciate it, helps me out a ton, and there's a few we're going to dive into right here. So Octane tweets this out before then going on to delete it. Leak culture in COD is so whack. This isn't even about me, just the entirety of the league getting announced before the team zone announcements absolutely sucks. I certainly get this from one perspective, right? It's been a long time since we hear like an actual announcement come out from the team that is seriously surprising. We generally hear about things ahead of time from leaks and other stuff like this. Of course, that certainly has its place, as we'll talk about here in just a second, but it does mean that it's pretty rare a team comes out with an absolutely shocking announcement that we haven't heard about before, which is, of course, unfortunate for the teams, but, you know, at the same time, it does mean that still, when some of the leaks come out, that's when some of the massive surprises happen, and then still, things still can change, right? Like, obviously, these teams aren't, you know, they don't have to go down at what the leak is doing, of course, you know, the leak probably is indicative of exactly what is going on behind the scenes, but things could still change. Now, I mean, look, some replies right here from Hitch, right, LMAO, because, you know, at the end of the day, like, a lot of the reason why a lot of these leaks come out publicly is because, you know, the pros like to talk about these things, right? Pros have, like, runny mouths and stuff, and yeah, at the end of the day, if there is discussions going on, if leaks do come out about what discussions are going on behind the scenes, it's going to be someone associated with that deal that is leaking that information, right? They're talking about what players they want to team with, they're talking about what players they might be talking to, and yeah, all of a sudden, these kind of things get out, and then the leaks get out, and then they come to other people, amateur players and stuff, and then Crone gets to know, and maybe he gets to know even from some other pro players as well. So kind of interesting, right? The pros would come out and say this. I mean, as Crone says right here, I'm in this tweet, I don't like it. Yeah, you are, says Octane Sam. So this is kind of the full discussion, as you can see right here. So I totally get Octane's perspective from the angle that it does make, you know, the announcement somewhat less exciting, but at the same time, it's not like Octane has been sitting back there and not saying anything about Los Angeles Thieves, right? All the pros like to hint and tease and all this type of stuff on the timeline. So, you know, if the pros are happy to do all this like baiting and stuff on the timeline, then you better be, you know, pretty happy when Crone comes out and drops an absolute bomb on the timeline, as he certainly has done these last several hours or so. Methods tweets this as well. It's actually whack how everything leaks every single year. And yeah, kind of interesting from Methods, right? Because I'm pretty sure some of the pros may well indeed say that Methods is not exactly the best at keeping a secret within the COD community, but this still gets deleted as well. So yeah, Octane and Methods tweet both gets deleted. Maybe because, look, at the end of the day, a lot of the times these leaks actually arrive, it's because, look, pros are leaking it to other players, and like things get out largely because people are actually talking about this stuff behind the scenes. I think Hex has always kind of prided himself on these leaks not coming out of his organization internally, because he has a lot of trust in his individuals within that kind of family he has over there at OpTic, and not actually leaking that stuff. As soon as he might be involved with Envy, then all of a sudden, like, the leaks start to come out publicly, and other organizations, it's not too far behind, right? So a lot of this stuff does come from the players themselves, I would imagine, and kind of interesting why they would say this type of thing, but I do kind of get their perspective, right? Like, you know, waiting for an official announcement used to be nice back in the day, but now, you know, now we have the leaks, which is understandable as well, but it gives us something to talk about on both ends when the leaks arrive, but also when the rosters get announced, to what that can mean from there. This I thought was funny from Crone. Pros complain about leaks, but have Woj notifications on for all the NBA type stuff. Don't really follow the NBA like basketball and that, but I imagine Crone is doing a similar thing here in the Call of Duty scene with all the leaks that have come out over the last 24 hours or so, and as Arcitys says as well, damn it, straight in the replies. Of course, he doesn't have to worry about too much right now in terms of leaks, because the only leak that's coming out of the Atlanta FaZe camp is that, yeah, they are sticking indeed to get that for next year, and whatever other potential like analyst or coach they might want to pick up, because they already have a fairly massive roster on that back as well. And again, as Connor Gamepedia says right here, leaking is part of every single team sport in existence. Just accept it's going to happen and build your announcements in a way that is still entertaining despite the leaks. This is a good point, to be honest, right? Like, even though people know what the roster is going to be, don't just bring up like a graphic of like, okay, yeah, X player has joined Y team. Like, let's just make it pretty hype, right? Let's do a hype announcement, and I don't know, you could do something pretty interesting about it and still make things very entertaining, right? I'm sure the best teams will end up doing that rather than just putting up a graphic on the timeline, which is, you know, low effort, to be honest, at the end of the day. And also, it does maybe a disservice to fans who already know what it's going to be because of all the leaks that have come out the last several days. And again, this even from CDL, he was like, pros when rosters get leaked, pros when the next Call of Duty gets leaked. Well, pretty excited about it, right? So, of course, leaks, well, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good, depends on your perspective, right, at the end of the day. But yeah, definitely intrigued to hear your perspective in the comment section below. Wanted to finish off with some Lion Man cards for the entirety of the season, especially given the roster movements that have come out relatively recently, these last several hours or so. Well, we have a decent idea what exactly might be happening nowadays. But yeah, this from Crimsix, I thought this stat was pretty insane, actually. If you look at his first blood rate right here, this is the only 99 category, well, he obviously gets into on this screen, but not too far away in terms of damage per 10 minutes. Honestly, like, Crimsix's damage is out of control. Like, he flies at things. That's why I think he can be a very good flex for this subliners team if it does go through, of Crimsix, Clayster, Hydra, and Neptune. It's because Crimsix just flies at things and takes chals, and like, all the time. Like, he's so aggressive for a main assault rifle on Dallas Empire. Maybe you need someone to be a little bit calmer, to be honest. And well, first blood rate, 91 first bloods to 49 first blood deaths. Like, I'm near an insane ratio when actually taking first blood engagements, which is like one of the best, if not the best in the entire league. So pretty impressive in his search and destroys. And we get this from Gunless as well. So of course, the Gunless rumored roster right now as it is over at Los Angeles Gorillas, that's certainly a scary one. His search and destroy wasn't great, but to be honest, overall, given he was on Seattle Surge and had a tough time at 11 and 25 records, like, had a pretty solid season. I think he still can be one of the best players in the game if put on the correct roster. Envoy as well, this was his season. OBJ per 10 minutes at a 99 in hardpoint. That is very impressive indeed. And Control, I think he'd made a lot of great plays despite the KD maybe not being spectacular. And yeah, what can he do for Los Angeles Thieves this year? Because of course, like at the end of the day, like I'm sure Envoy, not like he's necessarily seeking to show OpTic Dallas that you know, they shouldn't have dropped him or whatever, but that probably is kind of the case, right? Like if you get dropped from a team like that for Shotzzy or whoever it might be, you want to prove that yeah, I did actually deserve to be on that team and I can take you guys down. And yeah, the revenge tour may well just be starting for Envoy, and Crimsix probably in a similar boat as well. And happy that Drazah, after really some great stats, right? I mean, think about this from Drazah. Played an SMG, played an AR, played a flex, played like an entry SMG, played pretty much every single role in the book this season for Los Angeles Thieves. Still has a positive KD in every single game mode, so impressive nonetheless. Very much intrigued to get your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. What do you think about the rosters? What do you think about the pros, their frustrations with leaks happening? And maybe some more leaks on the way as to what exactly the finalized rosters are going to be for CDL 2022. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. I've really upset the YouTube algorithm. Like you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.